Yo, YouTube, what's going on? I hope everyone is staying safe out there. You're doing your part to flatten the curve of the COVID-19 virus, and you're staying in and only traveling for essential needs. No, recently there's been a lot of hysteria about the $1,200 or less that you'll be receiving with the CARES Act. Some people are saying it's a loan. Some people are saying you have to pay it back. Some people are saying you don't have to pay it back. So what's the big deal? Now, me personally, I did make a comment and I had to take it down because I was wrong. I went back through and I read the CARES Act section with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm here to tell you what exactly it says and how it might relate to you. Now, if you stick around also, I'll show you, or I'll tell you better yet, how you can potentially get some of that money if you didn't get it this year. Now, the section that's in question here is Division B, Relief for Individual Families and Businesses. Now, it says, in general, in the case of an eligible individual, there shall be allowed as a credit, that's the key word, against the tax imposed by Subtitle A for the first taxable year beginning in 2020, an amount of equal to the lesser of, and it goes on and lists out that. Now, there are two key things here. The credit, if you remember from my previous video about tax returns, a credit is a dollar for dollar match of your tax liability. Now, this is not a credit like the credit line that you get from a bank. This is a tax credit from the IRS or from the government, and that's what a tax credit is, dollar for dollar match for any liability. The next thing is where it says imposed by Subtitle A. Subtitle A is in the Internal Revenue Code, and it addresses the income taxes section of the Internal Revenue Code. So what's all of that saying? Now, the first thing you have to understand is what's the phase out. Once you understand the phase out, everything else will kind of fall in place for you. The key thing to remember here is that a tax credit is usually based on your adjusted gross income. The lower your adjusted gross income is, the more portion of that tax credit you get. And that's the same thing here for this $1,200 stimulus package. It's a tax credit for 2020, but they don't know your 2020 adjusted gross income. So they have to base it off of your 2018 or your 2019 adjusted gross income. So let's say, for instance, they based it off of your 2018 or 2019 adjusted gross income, and back then your adjusted gross income was $90,000, right? That means that you would have probably got a stimulus check for, I don't know, let's say this is probably like $200 or $300, right? $300, I don't know the exact amount. No, this would be your check right now, and that's all based on your 2018 or 2019 adjusted gross income. However, let's say, for instance, your adjusted gross income actually was not $90,000 in 2020. You might have lost your job, or something might have happened to you, or whatever might have happened, and your adjusted gross income actually fell to about $77,000. That now means that you were actually supposed to get about $1,000 for your stimulus package. Now, remember what I told you earlier. A tax credit is a dollar for dollar match of your tax liability. If you don't have any, they give you the money up front. And in this situation, what the IRS is going to do is they're going to say, well, Mr. Woodbine, we screwed up. Not really screwed up, but our estimates were off. You didn't actually make $90,000 like you did in 2018 or 2019. You actually made less. And your tax credit, which is money you're going to get back, should have been more than $300. Actually, the residual is a $700 difference, because you should have got $1,000. So we're going to give you this much money right here in 2021 when you file your 2020 tax returns. Again, you didn't get the full amount because the IRS didn't really know how much you made in 2020. It was a rough estimate. So you're going to get back this difference. The same thing for if you had kids. If you had kids in 2020, The IRS don't know that you had kids in 2020. And so that amount of tax credit that you should have gotten because you had kids, you're then going to get it in 2021 when you file your 2020 tax returns. No, what if you made more? What if they gave you, they said, hey, Mr. Woodbine, you earned $90,000, but in actuality, you had a new job and that new job was paying you some crazy amount of money and you started making bank and everything was going up and good for you and you kept that job for the entire time in 2020. What would happen to you then? Well, in that case, if you started earning, let's say $110,000 and you shouldn't have gotten zip, you should have gotten $0. Well, they're just going to look at it as money that they used to help stimulate the economy because they probably thought that you weren't making that much money, which in 2018 or 2019 you weren't. You just got a nice increase in 2020, so they didn't know that. So to answer the question, no one will have to pay back any money come 2021 when you file your 2020 tax returns. Simple as that. The main people that this will actually benefit are the people who actually made less in 2020. You have to remember, this is a tax credit, a one-time tax credit for the year 2020. So it can still be claimed, like we just saw, come tax filing time in 2021 before April 15. And what if you made, let's say, $99,000 and you didn't get any? Can you still get some of that tax credit come 2021 when you file your 2020 tax returns? Yes, because remember, this is a tax credit for 2020. If you didn't get anything because they said, oh, your 2018 and your 2019 tax returns said you earned $99,000, but you earn less, you're going to get money. How do you get money? Well, remember, people, if you are signing up for your 401k and you're dumping as much money in there, your adjusted gross income is going to be less. If you have kids right now and you're using your FSA or your HSA and maxing those out, your adjusted gross income is going to show up as less. So there are many ways out there to bring your adjusted gross income down so that you could potentially get this one-time tax credit come 2021 when you file your 2020 tax returns. So go out when you're doing your medical sign-up, open enrollment, or when you're doing your 401k, go ahead, put some more money in there because this is a one-time tax credit that you're going to miss if you don't bring down your adjusted gross income for the 2020 tax return. Now, I hope I answered everybody's question. And if you have any other questions, please put them down in the comments and like, share, and help me build this YouTube algorithm so I can get my videos out there. But again, thanks a lot. I hope everyone is staying safe. Love you all. Have a good week and keep safe out there.